Hey Taurus, I hope that you're all doing well. In the pre-shuffle, I was seeing you dealing with some sort of conflict or some sort of complication right now. We are starting off with Judgment. Judgment is going to be when you are zooming in and you are taking a close look at something, you want to inspect it, and you also can be like maybe wanting to get some perspective here on something. I'm seeing a Ten of Swords, so this can be about something that maybe a situation happened and you're like, that really went wrong there, or I need to know more about this and like why that happened. Whatever it is, having a Ten of Swords can be a situation that happened already, but you're not done processing it, and you're not done finding answers, and you're not done looking into it. So there can be stuff about this situation that you feel like you're still maybe realizing at this point. Like, you know that there's more to see about this. And maybe you feel like you can't let it go until that happens. I don't know, like, are you moving into a space where this is just an overanalyzation of something, or do you really feel like there's more to see about this? Maybe that's even a question that you're asking yourself. You know, am I just like, am I doing like more analysis of this? It's not really like bettering the situation, or it's not really like providing me with anything, but it's just helping me avoid having to like let go of this. So is this like a way that you're maybe like elongating some sort of process here from closing out maybe like mentally? Or do you really feel like, no, there's more that I need to like learn or understand about this? Just feels overall like you still haven't let this go, and you can be asking the question as to why that is. I don't think that you're done working with this situation yet. And it can be something that it still strikes you in a sensitive place. I'm getting maybe something that wasn't said directly, or can be the opposite. Maybe something was said too quickly with like a lack of insight. I'm seeing Knight of Swords wanting to come out reversed. This feels like not wanting to do something too soon, but to the point where it can be like you may have something to say, but you can feel like not ready to do that yet because you're still figuring it out. You know, it's kind of like when I'm ready, I'll do it, but you may not feel like you're ready yet. And I think that this is like something happened and you can be figuring out maybe what the correct consequences would be for this situation, and you can feel like you're not ready to move forward on this yet. You know, like if something happens and it sticks with you, you can look at this and be like, I want to make a sound judgment here. I don't want to be reactive, but I do want to be like actively involved in this and handling it appropriately. And maybe you feel at this point you have to kind of like withhold still from what you're gonna do about this, and maybe what you have to say about this, until you feel like totally clear on what that is. Because you can be looking at things and saying like, what really is the right way for me to go about approaching this situation? And I want to make sure that I'm making decisions here that at the end of the day I can be at peace with. And I don't know, I feel like there are going to be consequences that you still haven't maybe put down in this situation. Meaning, like, you may have, there's going to be something that happens because of this, but you may not have fully determined what that's going to be. You know, like maybe something happened with you and another person and you're like, I don't want to be too heavy-handed with the consequences, but I also need to make sure that I'm doing something that I like stand by and can stand behind and feel right about. I don't want to just be passive in this situation, but I get this feeling of like not being ready yet. So you can be taking your time to do something about this. I see a holding back. I'm seeing a situation you don't want to let go of. Maybe also somebody said something that they didn't like mean, maybe, or like wish that they could take back. There could have been some of that was going on. Okay. Regardless of whatever else you have going on right now, something is happening in your life and you are looking at it and you are figuring out the right way to approach things where you're making the right choices that are going to allow things to work as best as possible. This looks like there may have been consequences recently or something happening recently, but then after whatever that situation was, which feels like it's technically like taken care of, now is about finding your footing again and it taking some time to do that. And some of you, this can be within a relationship that you're trying to do, but I think overall this has to do with like you when you're looking at your life saying, like, this was something that needed to be corrected or this was something that needed to be adjusted, and like technically what needed to happen happened, and now I'm just kind of like finding my center once again after whatever was going on where you weren't feeling like that, you weren't feeling centered. And you can be thinking too about what your ideal is. This can be your ideal within a work situation. It can be your ideal within a living situation. Like what you're going to feel happy with, what's going to feel right for you. It can be within a relationship situation. It's like the thing that you feel like you can come home to or go to work to. And when you're there in that environment, it feels like everything is in right order. There's something about that that's being figured out right now. And so, like, again, whether it's like a specific relationship that you have, or it's a home situation, or it's a work situation, it's something where like you want this to be a pillar of stability within your life. And you can be looking at that right now and figuring something out about that, like finding answers specifically about that, like maybe even looking at an ongoing situation that you have and you're doing some sort of analysis about that, and you are figuring out how to make things, how to stabilize things in the way that you want to so that it works. And having 10 of Swords and having that looking at 9 of Cups here, you may have needed to end something in order to have what you want. but it can be something going on where you don't want to be impulsive, because I'm getting something here about like holding back until you feel absolutely sure about the right method to use. And maybe something's going on where you're afforded that time right now. So yeah, maybe you're doing some soul searching currently and finding answers, and I feel kind of like your final say that you're going to have about this, you're not ready to do it yet. And I don't know where this fits into the picture, but I am seeing something about something ending so you can have something that you want. But again, like maybe, if this didn't happen yet, it can be something where you're waiting because you feel like you're still figuring out what the right call is to make. And I think like what the right call is going to be, sorry about the noise, guys. I think what the right call is going to be the thing that you figure out is going to sit well with you at the end of the day when you look at things again and you're like, everything is in right order. But I feel like you haven't figured that out yet. So you can be looking at a situation and you're still assessing it and you don't know how to put things in right order yet. You don't know like which pieces need to move where yet. And so this feels like holding off on doing something until you figure that out. This feels very methodical, like plan first and then I will take action, rather than action and then you're like, that actually didn't add up to what I was hoping for. And if I would have like planned better, thought about this more, I would have been able to get a better result from this. So I think this is just like not wanting to do something and then have to backtrack. It's like whatever situation this is, you have the option of making the plan now, making sure that it's solid, being very calculated with this. Then you're going to do something about it. And then that's going to be that kind of like final offer, like final decision, this sort of thing. And something else that you can be figuring out right now, looking into right now, but you're not 100% sure, is about what you actually want. That can be something where that's also why you're not ready to do this yet. But I'm seeing this be something like you're actively working on this currently. But I'm definitely getting something about holding back on taking action, like not ready. There can be this little part of you that you have to put on a leash for right now and say, we're not going to say something about this, not going to address this until I feel absolutely sure about that. And so that's what it looks like is the best thing to do. Because I don't know if you like had some sort of experience where maybe you moved too quickly, like before you really thought about it, and then you don't want to repeat that mistake. But I'm definitely seeing something here that feels like there's stuff that's going on. You're going to take care of it. Don't rush yourself and don't let somebody put pressure on you. Sometimes we need the reminder. Don't let somebody put pressure on you to do this until you feel like you're ready. Because this is something where it's like, everybody be quiet. I need time to think right now. And as soon as you just like tap into that space, you're gonna see the pieces fall into place and then you're gonna know what to do. Give yourself that time to do that right now. It's really important. You're reflecting on what it is that you want. And I think that's going to tell you more about what's going to feel right for you to do in this situation. I see a lot of, I'm in the process, but I'm not ready yet. And I think like something recently happened that maybe brought some stuff to your attention that is having you look at this. Like now is the time to be looking at this and figuring this out, but not being ready yet to do something about it. It's kind of like, I don't know, some of you can be deciding whether you want to stay holding on to something or you want to shift some pieces around, do something a little bit different. But overall, I'm seeing you're still figuring it out and it feels like it's not really time yet. You just have some stuff on a personal level that has to be figured out first, and then you're going to know how to proceed. But I'm not seeing you be quick to do this right now. Not until you have more answers. Yeah, it's like what's coming and what's going. I'm seeing this have to do with stuff that you're looking at and you're like, are you happy with things? Is anything holding you back right now? Is anything not allowing you to connect with what you want? Is anything stopping that, blocking that, getting in the way, supporting that? So these are all questions about like what's time to come to an end versus what can you bring with you right now. And not because you're like, I'm bringing it with me because I don't know how to say goodbye. This is more so like, if you're bringing something with you into this next chapter, it's going to be very deliberate and intentional. And you're only going to bring it with you if it goes with what you're building. And if there's stuff that doesn't go with your building, even if you wish that you could bring it along, this feels like a time when you may say, like, no, I can't bring that with me. So there are some really big changes on the horizon. I feel like something happened recently, and as much as it may have been a struggle to get through that, or it was like a difficult situation, I feel like it kind of like woke you up a little bit, or you like sort of found yourself through that situation. And now that I'm like thinking about it too, the last Taurus reading that I did, I remember seeing the Queen of Wands, and I'm seeing Queen of Wands again as I'm putting the cards back. Like something may have happened, and it may have like helped you find yourself a little bit, but it could have been through a painful situation or something challenging or something uncomfortable. I want to say this too. You may need to give a little in order to get what you want. You may need to surrender a little or release a little in order to create something that you want more than to hold on to something that's not allowing you to have that. Because I'm seeing something going on where you can be trying to make something happen. It's like trying to get over there, but you're tethered to this thing here, and there can be something like that that's going to happen. But I'm not seeing you be in a rush to do this. I'm seeing you really take your time and make sure that you're measuring correctly before you cut. And I feel like something's happening right now where there are some changes that you are going to be making. I was seeing Scorpio. I'm also seeing Libra. There's some stuff that you're going to do that you may be telling yourself you're not ready to do it yet because you just want to be absolutely sure. But I am seeing that there's some stuff that you're going to be doing. There's some decisions that you're going to be making. These are very big decisions that you're making, and it can leave you in a space that is taking you away from something that felt like a sure thing that wasn't totally what you wanted, and towards a bit of the unknown, but it opens up the possibility of you connecting with what you actually deeply want. So there can be a little bit of a shift that's happening right now where you're like, I'm looking at this and things are not adding up, or things are not in right order, and I know I'm gonna have to do something about this, but there can be a lot of anxiety that's coming up about that. You can have some concerns, you can have some worries, you can be like, oh, I wish that I didn't have to do this. It's kind of giving that energy to me a little bit. Like this can be something where you just, I don't know, maybe you feel anxious to do it, maybe you feel scared to do it, but you know that you're going to look at things and say stuff is not in right order unless you do this. And I think that's something that you're in the midst of like correcting within your life right now. But you feel like until you're totally sure about this, you can't have this new chapter. It's kind of like I'm seeing a new chapter be available to you. You can access it whenever you want, and you can also feel right now like you're not ready for it, because there are some things that you're gonna have to do, and there can be a part of you that's like not 100% ready. I think you kind of know already that you're going in that direction, but you can just be like, I just want to make sure I'm absolutely sure. Maybe it's one of those choices too where it's like when you start doing this, you can't really go back, so you just want to make 100% sure. But yeah, overall, yeah, I'm seeing something about moving on from pain, something painful. This can mean that there's like healing that's in the process of taking place. Coming back to what I'm seeing, it looks like there's something that you have going on right now. If this is something you haven't done anything about, that you are looking at that and you feel like it is jeopardizing the right order of something and that you're going to do something about this. Maybe that's what the feeling of conflict is about too. Because this can be something where like you want to do something about it. For some of you, you feel like you can't, or like it's really challenging given your current circumstances. So that can also be something that you're working with. Like maybe there's a part of you that's like, if I had a little bit more like faith in myself, I would be doing this, and I'm still connecting with that and finding that. Because it can be something that if you were to really honor what you're feeling and what you're thinking and go in that direction, there's something that you're going to have to face that you can feel really hesitant to take on right now, but you also know in your heart that you kind of like need to go that way. So just take your time and think about things, and not to the point of hesitation where you're not taking action, but just if you feel like you're still processing, take the time that you need to do that. All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.